Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 2 days. So 2 days, because yesterday I published the sit rep, so today, so I didn't do the Frontline Changes report yesterday. So anyway, we're going to jump straight into the Frontline Change, and today is a very unique one because I think this is the first time in a long time where potentially, maybe, the Ukrainians capture more ground than the Russians in a span of in a long time. So but I actually do not know. I didn't do the maths. I can't do the maths in my brain because I'm lazy. So anyway, we shall see how this goes. So we're gonna jump straight to the first frontline change. Is over at Veroskin. So by the way, we are less than 50 subs. Less than 50 subs. It's actually 33 as per this recording from 100,000 subs. So subscribe, because if you don't, then YouTube will unsubscribe people. Like they unsubscribe people daily. So people need to sub. And definitely needs more than 30 something, because YouTube unsub 30-40 people a day. Yeah. Okay, anyway, Sumy front. So this is Sumy, and over in this area here, there's a very interesting geolocation. So over in Veroskin region, so this Oleksievka, Novomykolaivka, Veroskin, Yablunivka, and very interesting is that this two geolocations of Ukrainian forces in these positions. This is very unusual. So how do the Ukrainians actually get behind Veroskin? No idea. My assumption is that they actually went down this tree line between Mykolaiivka and Veroskin, and they attack in this way into the rear position of Veroskin. That's why I assume. There are Russian mapping probably will map it in this way of Ukrainian forces overrunning Veroskin. But honestly, the reason why I don't think so is because the Ukrainians did not boast about it. Yeah, I think if the Ukrainians recapture Veroskin, they would have make a big noise about it. But the fact that I didn't see it, at least not as of this recording, I didn't see it. Then yeah, I think that is probably going down the tree line. So that's a very interesting development. The advance is around 3 kilometers plus, more than 3 kilometers down the tree line. So definitely this did not happen over a day. But however, this is also probably part of the Ukrainian counteroffensive that I mentioned during the situation report yesterday. So let's see how this goes. So this is a very interesting development in this sector here. So the Russians at Veroskin, I mean, it is pretty defendable. There is some forest and whatnot, but let's see how this goes. The next frontline change, we go all the way to the Borova front. So this is Kupiansk. Borova is over here. So this area here, there's two major frontline changes. So this is both mapped by the Ukrainian mapping by Deep State UA. They have updated the map to show Russian advance in the southwest of Lozova, as well as the capture of Zeleny High. So Russian forces captured all of these areas here, consolidating and straightening the front line in the southwest of Lozova. And they also confirmed that the Russian forces have captured Zeleny High, along with the Gali, or this riverine region in the southeast of Zeleny High. So this, I have done a quick update on this area here, where it does change the tactical situation around Boriska and Andriivka a bit. So I posted it in the DPA War channel, so you can check it out if you want. The link to the DPA War channel is in the description. So I changed the arrangement of the information in the description. Hopefully it will help to cross-pollinate the channels better. So this is the advance in this sector here. The advance around Lozova is around 1.5 kilometers on average, and at the Zeleny High region I think it's around, I would say 1.5 kilometers as well on average. So this is this area here. The Russians suddenly did some offensive. So this Borova, Russian forces pushing in this sector here, probably targeting Boriska and Andriivka. And Nova Krylyakivka is also under threat because the Russians could potentially, flank it in the rear. So that's the situation around in the Borova front. So after the Zeleny High, the next front line change is over in the Siversk front. So Siversk city, and at Serebianka, there's some along the Siversky Donetsk River, multiple geolocations of Russian forces waving the flag. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And this confirms that the Russians have near full capture of Serebianka, if not already the full capture. I have not put it as a full capture yet, but it's almost a full capture. The main thing is because the northern street, they didn't raise the flag there. So too bad, if you didn't raise a flag here or here, yeah, then maybe the Ukrainians are still there. So yeah, so this is the kind of pressure I put on the Russians. You see, it's like here, and here. Not enough. I already give you a free gift around here. Here, I would prefer one here. But how about here and here? Don't have. So, too bad. Yeah, so, DPA is very hard to police. So, anyway, that's all. The advance at Serebianka is around 1.7 kilometers. So, it's a pretty important advance by the Russian forces as they try to consolidate the position at Serebianka. But clearly, the Russians did claim they have captured this since last year, October. Clearly did not happen. So, yeah, so it is what it is over in the Siversk front. After Serebianka, the next front line change, we go all the way to the Pokrovsk front in the breakout zone at the Pokrovsk front. Some people say this is not a breakout, but freaking look at the map. This portion here is absolutely far. It is as far as this. This is a big area, this is a very big breakout. So so anyway, but so you can see all the yellow marks. I have done the analysis, I think, video on this thing already, explaining my view of the situation. But for those that are totally not paying attention to the things I say, this is claims. This is not capture. It doesn't affect the Russian mapping. The Russian map remains the same. In fact, it have expanded. So the Ukrainian map is the one that is affecting because it's a claim. So until there is evidence to show otherwise, it's still a claim. So Russian forces first was geolocated in Veroskin, confirming the Russians' presence in Veroskin, advancing the Russian front line in that way. Ukrainians did claim that on the same day of the geolocation that they have taken back all these areas here. So there is this Ukrainian mapping update that looks like this. In fact, they even say that the Veroskin here is also under Ukrainian control. So that is the mapping in this sector in the north, northern most part of this breakout zone. The change is around 1.7 kilometers. On the other side, at Zoloty Kolosias is around more than 2 kilometers. So these are all very significant pushback if the Ukrainians are accurate about their claims. So we do not know for real because it's a claim right now. So and of course it coincides with the Putin-Trump meeting in Alaska. As a result, information coming out within the day is may have PR and information war, propaganda aspect to it. So it's very hard to just take it for the words by the words or whatever it was said. Over in Kusherev Russian forces is geolocated over here under attack by Ukrainian drones. So which means the Russian forces have some presence, or if not a lot of presence at Kusherev. However, this geolocation is not enough for me to map it as a capture of Kusherev under Russian control, but it does confirm Russian presence in this sector here. So this actually gains Russian some grounds in this sector here. Further south, where at the near the root of the 2 years of the evil rabbit or the antler of the deer or reindeer, whatever that is. The Ukrainians also claim to have breaked up the Russian connection, the zone of communication like this, as well as taking back some grounds of Vinnypole. So the Ukrainian forces claim to have captured all of these areas here. It's a bit difficult to believe per se, I would say. Particularly this one. This one is still possible. No, I would say, you know, this one here on the left, on the western part is possible, but the one on the east is a bit harder to believe. I have explained why, due to, you know, it was just one tree line. Any Ukrainian troops sent there to block the Russian troops is going to die. So, you know, I have my doubts. So anyway, but the Ukrainian counteroffensive is 100% for real. There is a counteroffensive by the Ukrainians in the region. The problem, what is unknown is the extent of the Russian initial breakout, because Ukrainians did of course don't want to make it so big. So but then now they need to claim it back, that is they have taken back a lot of ground. So, you know, it's very confusing in that sense. So we do not know what's the full size of the breakout in the initial stage. We also cannot confirm that how big is the Ukrainian pushback in the counteroffensive. So we can only take it with a pinch of salt. And we are all going to die of, you know, kidney failures at this rate. So so that's all from this area here. This zone is 1.3 kilometers north to south. East to west around here is 2 kilometers. Now this is a very rather long zones. We shall see how this continue to develop. You know, so that's all from this Antlers region. The Ukrainian mapping Deep State US has also allegedly or claimed that the Ukrainian forces have captured large parts of Nikanorovka, which was confirmed captured by the Russian forces, confirmed by geolocation. The Ukrainians also claim to have taken back the railway line of Blitzke. So these areas here are all taken by the Ukrainian forces, allegedly. These are all Ukrainian claims. It's not going to affect the Russian mapping. I just want to say again, you know, some people, you know, just don't understand how DPA maps. You know, no, don't jump to conclusion. Learn. Like you can ask other people, you know, in the chat. They will explain to you. You know, a lot of OGs around. So the advance at Nikanorovka is around 1.3 kilometers, east to west. North to south is same thing. Is a square. And then over on the Blitzke one, the capture back is around 350 meters. The full length of the retaken ground is around 1.3 kilometers. So the Ukrainians allegedly take back all these places. We shall see, you know, how this continue to play out. Whether this reinforced troops is going to stay, or do they have any more reserve in the rear to continue to hold up this counteroffensive? That we do not know. Over in Novoekonomishny, there is geolocation of Russian forces in the mining plant, confirming the Russians advance from Novoekonomishny into the plant here. So this is noted, invalidating some of the Ukrainian claims. The advance is around 1.7 kilometers. So that's all from the Pokrovsk front. I think this is all from the Pokrovsk front. So you can see all of these areas. And then one last frontline change is over in Andrievka Kletsove. So this is based on the geolocation. So the Ukrainian forces is raised wave the flag on the ground, showing to the drone at this position. The Ukrainians claim that the Russians were not here. They didn't capture the ground. They say that the Russians simply sneaked in and take some propaganda photos all across the town, which is utterly undefended. I just have to add. And then they never stayed. They never captured it. And then Ukrainians sent the soldiers to wave the flag just to show that it's under Ukrainian control. All it is on the DPA map is that the Russians capture it and the Ukrainians recapture it. So everything else is just propaganda. And also Ukrainians have captured back all of these areas here. So the front line probably looks a bit like this. Of course, I could have also mapped it that the entire area is taken by the Ukrainian forces. But there's only one geolocation. The same rule applies for the Ukrainians. You know, you need to raise flags all over the place for me to confirm that. So that is what it is. No, I would say this area here is still pretty much in the fog of war. We do not know what the hell is happening. So yeah, and this invalidates a huge chunk of the Rybar's claim, because the Rybar mapping claimed that the Russians attacked from Zeleny High. The fact that the Ukrainians is here simply invalidates this entire area here. No, it's just not possible. In fact, only from our mapping, we claim that it's going coming down from the highway. This with Ukrainians over here is still possible because the front line could still look like this. It's still a doable thing, you know. So yeah, but you know, this area is just it is what it is. So anyway, Greece is just a fog of war. No, nobody know what the hell is happening. We don't know what is our name. We don't know what we eat for breakfast, and you don't know what the hell this YouTube channel is. So press the subscribe button, and then you will learn about it. And happy birthday to you if your birthday today. And that's all the frontline changes. So now it's the exciting part. You know, I'm very excited. I want to count how much who is actually have more captures over the past 48 hours. So this for 2 days. So the Russians so 2 days ago the frontline changes was the Russians capturing 43.19 square kilometers, mainly because of the big breakout, the big breakout at Pokrovsk, so leading to a big number. So now Russians captured 14.61 plus 1.35 5 plus 1.68. Total area captured by the Russian forces is 17.64 square kilometers. So now the Ukrainian ones. So I think Ukraine is bigger. 3.06 plus 8.48 plus 8.06. The total area captured by the Ukrainians is 19.6 square kilometers. So this is the first time in near forever since I started to do this frontline changes report. I think the Ukrainians captured more ground than the Russian forces. So, and the Russians capturing only 17.64 is only the 10 square kilometers range. So clearly the Ukrainian counteroffensive is having an impact on the situation on the ground for the Russians. But like I said just now, the question is whether the Ukrainians can keep up with the counteroffensive, continue to fight back at this intensity. That is the main question. Can they do it? So anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. So press the like button, subscribe. We are less than 50 subs away. So be the 100,000 sub, and I'll see you guys in the next update.